Welcome to the Rediscovering Your Creative Self podcast, where you get a weekly dose of inspiration and motivation for your creative practice. The importance of having the right mindset before you paint, draw, or create is extremely important. It's important to have a calm mind because you are preparing yourself for what is yet to come. One of the things that I've learned over the years being an artist is if I go from my daily activities and go right into the studio and immediately start putting paint onto my palette and expect myself to do my best work at that time, I've always run into problems because I didn't have a way to transition, or I wasn't even aware that I needed to transition. The reason why it's important is because the mind needs to do a process of shift. So you're shifting from all the craziness that's happening during the day. You might be answering emails or, doing your local things in your community or, everyday life chores. You need to have a transition before you can create. One of the things that I do is what I call mindless activities or rituals, almost meditative in a way. And some of those things are taking a walk. I love to go outside, a lot of nature around where I am, and I just walk and I don't think about things. I just let things flow in and out. There's not a lot of traffic. Mainly, I don't see very many people, even when I'm walking at all. Just nature, calming sounds. Then I get back into the studio and I'm in a different state of mind. But I can't always walk. I'm in an area where there's snow and bad weather sometimes, right? So what I do is I do things in the studio that are what I call mindless. I start to maybe organize something, like look through some things and just look at pictures. Or another thing that I do is I will start going through my paints and scraping the gunk off the caps underneath. And I'm not really thinking about stuff. It's kind of like mindless. And it allows me a state to transition. Other things that I do, I have a chair in my studio, and I just sit in the chair and I look out the window. And sometimes I look around the studio and I just drink my coffee. And it's just kind of a relaxing transition between what I was doing before and now. After doing that transitional practice, I can now go ahead and paint. Things that you definitely do not want to do. You don't want to start to relax by being on social media or checking your email or doing things like that. It's been studied scientifically that those kind of activities are hyper brain charging. Okay. You don't want that. You want something that calms you, relaxes your mind, and then start your art practice. I can't stress how important that is. I have tried to rush that process, and I have painted and felt at the end of the day I shouldn't even have painted that day because I had to end up fixing things. I didn't feel relaxed. I felt like pressure to perform. And I think when I have those transitional moments, it allows me to calm down. It calms my mind. It calms my body. And then I'm able to listen to what the painting wants from me. I know that might sound strange, and a lot of artists kind of talk about this. I don't think it actually has a little voice and it talks to you, but it's a put one thing down, like you respond, and then there's a feeling, an intuitive feeling that this needs this. This is the next move. It's like when you quiet your mind, you're able to listen to that intuitive voice because the rest of the noise has been cluttered out. Okay, we got the clutter out. And I think that's another big reason why I kind of organize my studio. It's this weird thing about clutter out, get the noise out. Kind of reminds me of, because I love storytelling, is The Wizard of Oz. So Dorothy is in this crazy situation at home, and she ends up being part of a big tornado. And she runs into the house, and she's thrown about, and these crazy things start to happen, and she knocks unconscious, and then everything becomes still. So, under her mind, because she was knocked out, it becomes still. And then she goes through this transitional portal where she is from, Kansas, and then she's in Oz. So black and white to color. And this whole fantastical world is revealed to her. That's kind of what happens when you transition. You stop the regular, everyday, what's on the news? Oh my goodness, what's going on now? To transition, chill, calm your mind, whatever it is that works for you, but be aware that you need to do it. And then get your mindset into painting where you're open, your mind is open, your body is open. You are ready to listen to that voice that's inside that has something to say in a creative expression kind of way. So, as always, enjoy your week and create from the heart.
This audio series is part of my Navigating the Labyrinth of the Creative Mind Patreon endeavor. The site uniquely intermixes self-reflection and personal storytelling with exploratory mixed media techniques and expressive approaches to art making, elevating the creative consciousness and guiding each person on his or her own path to discovering the creative spark that resides within. Check us out at www.patreon.com/Lisa L. Cyr, and that's spelled CYR.